Good morning, college and high school football fans. Here we go yet again on another journey around high school and college football. And I'll tell you, it's going to be another good one as per usual because, ladies and gentlemen, we have more champions to crown. We're awaiting one champion. And we got a championship to play in about 3 hours. Oh man, I hope you're excited. I mean, just the sheer excitement from me last week. Riverside has done it! That's right. RCC, national champions yet again. Third title in program history. Second one in the last 4 years. It's been amazing. Can we get a hand clap also for the Iowa Western Reavers? They got it done on Wednesday evening, absolutely destroying East Mississippi. I mean, that was a blowout if I ever seen one. And I'll tell you right now, last night, hit the upset alert, and boy oh boy, the little team that could, did. As Cortland, Cortland will knock off the Giants North Central, the Division III National Championship, a.k.a. the Stag Bowl, a.k.a. Stag Bowl 50. And coming up in just a little bit, we got Harding taking on Colorado School of Mines. NAIA Championship coming up in a few days on Monday. Bowl season starts today. Oh, it's going to be delicious. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, welcome, welcome. You are now tuning in live to 3 and Out College Edition right here on iSports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Welcome, 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 college and high school football fans. Man, it's December 16th, guys. This is a magical day for me, usually every year. This is the week where I have officially gone on break from work for 3 weeks. So, my wife and I are very happy. If you caught our show last night, the Sports Couple Perspectives, you saw us very happy because, well, that was the end. She finished on Thursday, and I finished yesterday checking out and doing all that stuff, and, well, that is it. We are both done until January 8th. Teacher life, very happy about that. It's always so wonderful being in the same district, teaching, doing our thing. We love it. But yes, today is the day. We did our Christmas shopping last night. We are basically done. So, I mean, you guys, it feels good, man. This is it. Now we got 3 weeks to just enjoy life. And this is it. And we have champions that have been crowned in the last week. We have champions that are going to be crowned this weekend. We have bowl season starting in just 50 minutes. You guys, this is great. And this takes us all the way back into school because, of course, we go back to work on January 8th. Well, that's the day of the national championship for Division I. So, I mean, on the day before, that's the the FCS national championship. So, it's a football break, and we love it. So, with that said, you guys, definitely appreciate you so very much. And, of course, gotta always bring in my boy, man, my brother from another mother, my boy, Mr. Taryn Rodriguez. How you doing this morning, brother? Good to have you.
Doing good, Larry. Kind of recovered from the Chargers getting thumped by your Raiders. But I'm ready to talk some college football. That's all that matters.
Hey, I'll tell you right now, my boy, the IE Sports Radio Hall of Famer, which I'm happy. I can't believe I got nominated. That was pretty cool. But the IE Sports Radio Hall of Famer, Taryn Rodriguez, the host of Set Point, which the national championship is being played tonight. Really excited tomorrow to Texas and Nebraska. He's all over that, man. It has been awesome. Good old Set Point, man. Taryn covers everything volleyball, man. You don't want to miss that show Monday evenings. And, of course, the host of the SoCal Supreme Sports Show, which he's doing double duty today. He's actually going to jump on that show later on. And, I mean, the man's crazy, but what can I say? He does so much here at IE Sports Radio, and we appreciate him. Of course, the co-host of this show. Just glad to have you back, man. I know last week you were working, but glad to have you back on the show this week, man.
Yep. Feels good to be back. And back for good. I'm back for the long haul, baby.
Let's get it. Yeah, where's the yeehaw? Yeah! Let's get it, man. So here we go, brother. Let's get going, man. Look, okay, so big ups to the chat room already, and we appreciate you, Jen B, for being up in the chat, of course. I says, sorry I missed live last night. I'm sick and miserable. I'm sorry, Jen. Well, hopefully you feel better, and hopefully we say some things. Well, I mean, I don't know if we're going to make you feel any better. I don't know. But, hey, Ohio starts off in bowl season in a little bit, even though this college is more closer to Cincinnati, so I don't know if you would consider this more on your end of Ohio. But, hey, the Bobcats are playing in a little bit. Yay. Okay, anyway, sorry. I was just trying to lighten the mood a little bit for Jen there. Sorry. But, all right. Well, with that said, you guys, oh, man, Darren, it's been a ride, man. I mean, as per usual, here we are at this point of the season where we are getting ready for basically the second season within the season. I mean, here we go. Here's all the fun of the ending of bowl season. Sorry, the ending of the regular season happened. The championships have been played in Division I. The bowls have been selected. One team got robbed. We know. We talked about that. We continue to complain that there's not a bracket. I mean, this is like the usual, right, Taryn? This is like the the coffee in the morning. I'll see you at 10 at the water cooler. Like I'll see you in the parking lot. I'll see you at lunch. I'll see you in the parking lot on the way out. This is usually how the show goes. Every year. And then we do our thing. We crown a national championship of high school in next week. We'll see. We're the national champions. And we get all the way through bowl season. And then, we have that sucky kind of, man, all right, well, that's it for a few weeks until we get to the Senior Bowl and the various all-star type games through college. And then we pretty much get there and say goodbye in February, and, well, we come back in August. I mean, that's the usual, and I love it. So, Taryn, here we go, man. Jen in the chat room says, yay, Bobcats. Yay, Bobcats. Hey, let's see what they got, all right? So, anyway, Taryn, last week we talked all about, I talked some high school. I know you were at work, man. But, yeah, we talked, a little bit of high school in the very beginning, and this is it. It's the end. This is the end of the deal here. I'm talking about that top 10. Last week, we did see, let's see here. We did see, a nice victory here. So the top 10, of course, St. Thomas Aquinas finished the season 14-1. They are the FHSAA champions. That is the 3M division. They defeated Homestead 31-28 last week. Congratulations to them. Big ups on an amazing season. Then we had St. Joseph's Prep finishing the season at also, I think, 13-1. Yes, they defeated last week North Allegheny 45-23. They would win the PIAA state championships in the 6A category. Okay. Then we move on to number 10. Then we move on to number 8. Walton. This was crazy. Walton, of all teams, they would knock off Milton 31. This is awesome, man. 31-21 in the, looks like 6 or 7A. I don't know. There's so many A's in this thing. Championship 7A GHSA championship in Georgia. So they will actually lose. Sorry, they lost to Milton. So interestingly enough, Walton, of course, a team that made it this year, I think they were the ones who knocked off the other Georgia school from earlier this year, which was incredible, seeing these guys play as well as they did. However, Walton would be the team to go super hard and get this done, okay, in the championship, which is just awesome seeing these guys kind of play musical positions over there in Georgia. Well, St. John Bosco, as we know, they've made their way to 7th. Okay, of course they lost to CIF. So they lost in CIF to Mater Dei. Okay, in the championship about a month ago almost, on the 24th of November. So they have been done for a while, finishing at 11-2. Now, this is the crazy thing, Taryn, because Texas just loves to play all the way till Christmas. They're the only, I think, state that's still going, or they go all the way to the week before Christmas. Or Christmas Eve at least, and they are finishing up. We have here DeSoto taking on Summer Creek out of Houston, and that is the UIL championship there. They are getting ready to square off today, actually. So, pretty cool. All the best to them. Of course, DeSoto, a big-time program. And that is the 6A D2 bracket. And then, of course, we have North Shore. They're currently number 5, where they are also playing today as well. And they're playing Duncanville, which is pretty crazy because those two were on a collision course, I feel like, all freaking year. So, Duncanville took its lick, but they're playing at AT&T Stadium. And that is the UIL 6A D1 championship being played today. So Texas football officially done after today, and Duncanville at 13-1 will take on 15-0 North Shore. And there it is, the IMG Academy. We talked about them. They finished 10-0. They're freelance, so no championships or anything like that. They just play. They do their thing. They got a good season. Modern Day, of course. They did what we thought they would do. They blanked Sarah from San Mateo last week, 35-0 in the CIF Open state championship. So they got it done. And then, of course, number 2, Karen, Chaminade Madonna, 14-0. Okay, they defeated Clearwater Central Catholic a couple weeks ago, as we talked about, and that is the FHSAA championship 1M. And then, of course, Bishop Gorman. They ended their season like a month ago, kind of like Bosco, except for this time, except for they actually won everything. They, defeated Liberty at home, 56-11. And, I don't know if it was a neutral site. Oh, it was Allegiant Stadium where the Raiders play. But, Taryn, that's it. And that was the NIAA Division 5, Class A Division 5 state championship. So, Taryn, now that I've, gone over all that for like 45 minutes, my apologies. I mean, give me anything. What are your surprises? Maybe a game you're looking forward to today in the Texas kind of matchup. Do you have anything to say about the Modern Day possibly leapfrogging to number 1? Do you got anything to say about the San Mateo game last week? Do you got anything to say about, those Georgia teams? What you got, man?
So the Texas or the Duncanville North Shore matchup is going to be a barn burner. I think that's going to be a really good matchup right there. North Shore thinks they're going to be walking through that one like it's no big deal. They have another thing coming. I really think that Duncanville is really going to throw everything at North Shore and then some. And then as for Modern Day's win over Sarah, it's actually the second straight year that Sarah has been shut out in the CIF State Open Division Championship game. As in the 3 years that they've been in the Open Division Championship game, Sarah has only put up 7 points, which, wow. This kind of shows Modern Day and St. John Bosco are on a whole other level. And the past 2 years, they've been shut out. So it kind of shows that we really need a national championship game, and we really need like a team that isn't like full of like world beaters. Like Modern Day and Bosco are world beaters. Bishop Gorman, IMG Academy, Chaminade Madonna, those teams are world beaters. There needs to be like a Max Preps national tournament to determine a national champion. That's just my opinion, but I think it would be good just because it would give some of these other teams a chance. Not that I'm saying that Modern Day doesn't deserve the Open Division State Championship, but you look at what's happened with Sarah, or any team, like De La Salle, or any team that comes out of the North. They always get mowed down by the Southern California team. Speaking of which, I also have to give a big congratulations to Mission Viejo on beating said De La Salle team last week. It was quite the thriller, and the scary thing about Mission Viejo is that they return a good portion of their team next season, and keep an eye on that team. I think they're going to be very scary to watch for. I think they're a special team. Chad Johnson has done an excellent job with that team, and I'm looking forward to seeing what the Diablos can do next season.
Darren, that was an amazing game, by the way, man. State championship there. Man, how about Mission Viejo? They won that one 27-14. that's amazing. They have all those players coming back next year, man. It was a pretty good year in California, man. I do got to say, shout out to a couple of schools in our area, man. Of course, over there in Orange County, Lucerna, man. Wow. Like, Lucerna, this school, I mean, they won and this is 2AA, okay? So this is lower down, but they defeated Grant from up north, 21-19. Congratulations to them. And Taryn, you know I have to do this, man. There's no other way around it because this is a must. This is a big shout out from a little team that could. Ladies and gentlemen, the Ramona Rams. Yes! Congratulations to the Ramona Rams out of Riverside, California. Ramona, you guys. Little school. I mean, there has to be, maybe 2,500 students. I don't think there's very many there. Maybe. I mean, I don't think it's a big, my wife graduated there, like I said, back in the day. And 35-7, man, they defeated Pleasant Valley from up north at Murdoch Stadium, which is where I once played against El Camino College as a player at RCC. And awesome stadium. That's also the same exact stadium where The Longest Yard was filmed, which is pretty cool. I didn't know that. But yeah, it's where the last game was played, where the guards played the convicts. So, Taryn, it was pretty cool, man. Ramona got it done. First ever state championship in their history. I mean, Taryn, it was just so cool seeing that, in a team so close to home, getting it done and winning. And how cool is it, my wife's high school, where she graduated from. She's like, yeah, back then they weren't very good, but now they're amazing, years later. So really cool to see that. But yeah, Taryn, I'll tell you, man, of course, Folsom from up north, they win a big game over St. Bonaventure, 20-14. There's an up north team for you. But not to switch gears or anything, Taryn, but it's kind of funny how you mentioned that Sarah of San Mateo was down here last weekend on Saturday, and they would lose to Mater Dei, a Southern California team. And Taryn, there was also another team from San Mateo that was here in Southern California last week. And they played a SoCal team. Except for this was the College of San Mateo Bulldogs taking on the Riverside Tigers. And Taryn, oh, it happened. It happened. It happened. It happened. It happened. I'll tell you right now, that was one of the absolutely coolest games I've ever seen. I had to pay to watch that freaking game, all right? I paid $12, all right? But I don't care. I didn't care. It was amazing. Bayosin, or whatever it's called, they did a good job covering the game, even though I don't know how Riverside TV didn't cover the game, because it was kind of at Wheelock Stadium, where I used to freaking play at RCC, here in Southern California and Riverside. Regardless, man, Taryn, it was a beautiful sight. I mean, it ended it was a hell of a game from start to finish, but the way it ended was absolutely incredible, the way this thing ended. And man, I'll tell you right now, how RCC got down the field with just, slight minutes to go. Jordan Barton out of Damien High School is a beast, man. Dude played at Damien, out in Laverne, and dude, like, he got it done, man. Led him down the field. It all went to the Panikowski. Yes, his last name is Panikowski, okay? What is it with kickers that are great, that have the Owski? I don't know. But Panikowski kicks a game-winning field goal from very close range, and ladies and gentlemen, the Riverside Tigers, 24-21, defeat the San Mateo Bulldogs. This game was beautiful. Avenged the loss from a year ago in the same exact national championship game that was played up north at San Mateo. And 55-0 beat down. RCC just looked horrible. Well, guess what? It was a great game. It wasn't a blowout. But the Tigers got it done. Home turf. Second national championship in the last 4 years. third national championship in program history. Tom Kraft is a genius. It was an honor playing for that man, and I'll tell you right now, what he's done with this program is amazing. Taryn, Riverside are champions! How about that, man? How about it?
Yeah, I had a feeling they would definitely win that one just because they're not playing in sloppy rain like they were last year. Not saying anything about the weather in Northern California, but honestly, this was their redemption arc. They knew that if they don't win they're never going to get another chance for the players that lost on last year's team, and they knew that they were going to be in a dogfight. And it came down to the fourth quarter. It was 14-14 after 3, and Riverside eventually had that extra drive, which basically wound up being the go-ahead game-winning field goal at the buzzer. So I really got to tip my hat to Riverside. It was just an absolute amazing game overall, and both teams really left it out on the field. But Riverside just had one more drive. They utilized the clock well, and I don't want to say home field advantage was the difference maker, but I really think that it helps that you don't have to travel. But Riverside just really earned it.
Darren, it felt good, brother. It felt so good, man. They did. It was amazing to see. And yeah, man, I'm just loving it. I'm loving like the stat line and everything too. I'll tell you right now, Bryce Strong, I don't know where he's going, but he's going somewhere. Like, he has to be going somewhere. This dude is absolutely incredible. And he got it, man. He of course usually runs the rock like a ton. He didn't even lead this time. But overall, in yards on the ground, that was Barton. But Strong, man, he had 1,249 yards, 16 touchdowns on the year. Yards per game. He averaged 96.1 yards per game. You're going to see this guy in the freaking SEC somewhere, man. He played all 13 games. I mean, the guy is amazing. Barton did an amazing job, of course, playing this week. What a freaking season he had, though. 3,990 yards, 35 touchdowns, 306.9 yards per game. That's amazing. He played all 13 games as well. I mean, it's been awesome to see these guys play like they have, man. I mean, but let's go ahead and read this little article real quick, Taryn. I'm going to get through it pretty fast. But, dude, this was amazing, man. So, here we go. So, courtesy of 3C2A Sports, literally spelled out like that, 3C2A Sports.org. It says here, let's see, where are we at? Let me make sure I got the right article. All right, here we go. It says, Gabe Panikowski kicked a 23-yard field goal as time expired to give host Riverside Community College a 24-21 victory over defending champion College of San Mateo in the 3C2A Football State Championship game Saturday afternoon at Wheelock Stadium. That's right, that's Tigers home right there. Riverside, 12-1, appearing in a fourth consecutive state championship, had to respond after the Bulldogs 11-2 completed a 78-yard drive with 2:01 remaining to tie it with a 1-yard run on a direct snap to Valentino Foni, I believe, his second touch tally of the game. That was set up by a 19-yard throwdown from Anthony Grigsby, who was absolutely amazing from San Mateo, to Tyler Borland, who made a spectacular one-handed catch that just missed into the end zone. Tigers quarterback Jordan Barton took control after the kickoff, marching from his own 25 to the 6-yard line. The final dramatics were set up by Barton's 17-yard scramble to the 7 from the College San Mateo 24, going out of bounds with 9 seconds remaining. Barton, after a 1-yard run to the 6, took his final timeout with 4 seconds to go, setting up Panikowski for the game winner. I thought it was going to go into overtime, said Riverside coach Tom Kraft, but Barton was resourceful. He's been doing that all year. The ending dramatics also reminded Kraft of some history. We did the same thing 30 years ago to beat San Francisco in the title game, said Kraft, who was the Palomar coach at the time. We won it on a field goal with 3 seconds left. Barton completed 22 of 31 passes for 200 yards, ran and scrambled 18 times for 114 yards and 2 touchdowns to earn MVP honors. Riverside running back Bryce Strong rushed for 76 yards on a touchdown, on 16 carries and caught 9 passes for 97 yards to gain Offensive Player of the Game recognition. The Bob Stengel Defensive Player of the Game was RCC Frosh lineman. This guy's amazing, man. Isaiah Boger. This guy was awesome with 8 tackles, including a 15-yard sack with a quarterback hurry. Grigsby was the game passing leader with 236 yards, completing 19 of 26 throws, including a touchdown. He led the Bulldogs on a 65-yard drive with their first possession after CSM held the Tigers to a quick initial 3-and-out. A 38-yard Grigsby to Fidel Pitts pass was the big play of the drive, completed with Foney's 3-yard run. Okay, so getting to the end here. Riverside responded with a 75-yard drive that the Bulldogs appeared to halt at their own 4-yard line. The Tigers had settled for Panikowski's successful 21-yard field goal. The Bulldogs were called for holding. However, Kraft took the points off the board. Now at the 2, Strong rushed quickly into the end zone to tie it. On the next possession, Barton took the Tigers 83 yards in 9 plays, scrambling for the final 10 yards with a leap into the end zone for a 14-7 lead early in the second quarter. San Mateo, however, was determined to tie it at the half. Grigsby took the Bulldogs 65 yards in the final minute and 9 seconds of the period, connecting with Pitts on a 42-yard play to get things started and finishing with a 3-yard toss to Terrence LaVille for the equalizer. The game remained knotted into the fourth quarter. Barton got things going by engineering a 62-yard drive, capped by his own 14-yard run for a 21-14 advantage with 9:50 remaining. Led by Strong and Barton, Riverside rushed for 221 yards against the usually stingy Bulldogs and had a total offense of 422 yards. San Mateo had 111 yards on the ground, with Sanchez and White each netting 46 yards and 4 passes for 115 yards, and LaVille for 43. So, Arona Matau led CSM on defense with the 9 solo tackles and assists. Riverside captured its second all-time championship, joining its 2019 win also over CSM. The Bulldogs were looking to be the state's first back-to-back championship since the Mount San Antonio Mountaineers, of course, or Mounties, in 2009 and 2010. So I'll tell you right now, it has been amazing. Taryn, I know it's kind of long, sorry about that, but dude, that was awesome. Big ups to Mo in the chat room, by the way. Says here, will Garbers lead UCLA to a bowl tonight? We'll
Oh, no.
We'll get to that one for sure. But, Taryn, I'll tell you right now, man, just what a job. One more time, man. Congratulations to the Riverside Tigers. Taryn, what do you got to say about that awesome season, dude? They freaking almost lost to a crappy Palomar team this year. It was a close game versus freaking Mount San Jacinto of all teams for like the whole game till the fourth quarter. I mean, they lose to gosh dang Fullerton on their home in Wheelock Stadium in the final week of the regular season, make it hard for themselves, having to play uh, Mount San Antonio, then play Ventura, who upset Fullerton, and then in that national championship game. I mean, Taryn, it was an amazing season. It was crazy. Definitely done the harder way, but maybe not. Maybe Ventura would have been the one to knock them off early on, or maybe that would have been them instead of Fullerton being beaten the first round. I mean, Taryn, I don't know, but what do you got to say about all this craziness in the 3C2A as we wrap it up for the year?
I was very impressed by RCC. I really think that they had, again, it was just a redemption arc for them. And I really think that the Fullerton loss was kind of their turning point. I really think that their loss to them was kind of their wake-up call. And I really think that they definitely did not play up to their potential. I think that they deserved to win, and they had to go through a gauntlet. And I know Fullerton lost along the way, and we'll never know if Fullerton could have beaten RCC. But honestly, I think RCC, again, they just needed to shake off that loss to Fullerton, because that conference right there is a gauntlet on its own. It's just amazing.
Absolutely, man. That's a crazy conference and definitely some crazy football. Taryn, just big, gigantic ups and congratulations once again to those RCC Tigers. Man, just cheering them on all year, man. That took energy. All right, so I'm pretty excited for that. But congratulations once again to Riverside as we close the door on the 3C2A for the season. It was just amazing. So happy to see these guys win. And one more time for the year, go Tigers! Hey, I'll tell you what, we used to use that old saying, or a saying, restore the roar. That was Tom Kraft's, the beginning. I don't know who came up with that, if that was him or whatnot, but that was RCC. Restore the roar. Won it all in 1989, the year that I was born, and haven't been really that great since. And you know what, man? It took him a good while to get this team back in really good order, but man, restore the roar, man. Started this back in 2010, 2011, and you know what? He has definitely restored that roar. And just thank you, Tom Kraft. We are so happy, so grateful. Let's go Riverside. So, all right. Continuing on with junior college football. Well, Taryn, it happened, man. And this one, I don't even know if we could talk about it, dude. It was ugly. Iowa Western. How about the NJCAA champions? Ladies and gentlemen, it was an ugly, ugly, ugly game. Beautiful for Iowa Western Reavers fans, but just hideous for East Mississippi. They did it, man. They did it. The Reavers got it done of Iowa Western, 61-14. Earning their third national championship program history and their second back-to-back. Go Reavers! 61-14, Dan. 61-14. Did you even watch the whole game, or did you turn it off at some point?
Well, here's the thing. That kickoff return touchdown, I thought that was going to be the turning point for the other team, but yeah. Iowa Western just unraveled 35 unanswered points, and that's bonkers right there. So, honestly, it just shows that sometimes teams just have an answer for other teams, and for Iowa Western, they just had an answer, even though they missed that extra point on the first touchdown. And I still got to admit that kickoff return touchdown from 90 yards, he was gone.
Gone. I mean, Taryn, it was insane, man. Seeing this happen, seeing this team just fall. East Mississippi, man, they went through it. They went through their own hell this year, man. Their own kind of gauntlet. I mean, I don't know, man. They got in as the fourth team, you know? I mean, of course, they played the second team in Iowa Western. But, Taryn, it's crazy. Iowa Western, of course, they lost to Hutchinson in the final game of the season. Kind of funny how like RCC, losing in that final game of the season. But man, East Mississippi, we talked about them a couple weeks ago. They defeated Hutchinson 24-23 to get into this game, and that was back on the second. And then, of course, Iowa Western just destroyed Kilgore 47-7 to get into this game. And dude, it's like East Mississippi didn't even show up, man. The original Last Chance U. Boy, it was just ugly. I mean, total beatdown. and just an amazing performance, though, man. For this entire, I'll tell you right now, man, that D line is awesome. Like, they played like with their freaking hair on fire, man. I absolutely loved it, and it was awesome. Here's a little bit of reading. I'm not going to read it all because it is a gigantic article here on prestosports.com. It is a long one, but I'm going to read just the beginning real quick right here, man. It says Little Rock, Arkansas. So it says, call it Council Rock. Call it Little Bluffs. Just don't call it anything but home for Iowa Western football. Number 2, Iowa Western rolled to the 2023 NJCAA Football National Championship on Wednesday night, topping number 4, East Mississippi 61-14 at War Memorial Stadium in Little Rock. The Reavers 12-1 fought back from an early 1-point deficit to batter the Lions at 10-3 on the season over 4 quarters of football to become the first back-to-back title winner since EMC, of course, East Mississippi, did it 5 years ago. As they've done all season, the dark side defense set the tone of the game early, forcing, let's see here, what does it say? Heralded Lions quarterback Ty Keys, of course, we've seen him all season long, into a pair of hurried throws in a 3-and-out on the game's opening possession. And it just rolls from there, man. I mean, it was just a beatdown. This team absolutely went off, destroying East Mississippi. Taryn, it was crazy, man. It says the Reavers outgained EMCC on the day 503-317, holding the Lions quarterback Ty Keys to 270 yards and allowing only 56 total rushing yards on the day. That's amazing. The IWCC rushing attack gained 335 yards on the 553 total yards in the game and posted not one but 2 rushers above the 100 mark. That's crazy, the 100-yard mark, century mark, man. Quarterback Hunter Watson carried 14 times for 108 yards, equaling the rushing output of teammate Jonathan Humple on the day. Watson also turned in his first plus 200-yard passing game, which is crazy, right? On the season, tossing 3 scores and rushing for a pair of IWCC's 5 rushing touchdowns. I mean, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. It says here, he's been locked in all week. He's focused, he's competitive, and he made some great throws today, said Strohmeyer of his starting quarterback. Of course, that's Coach Strohmeyer of the Iowa Western Reavers. But Darren, I mean, gosh dang it, man. They absolutely beat this team into oblivion, man. I mean, is there anything more to say about it? Iowa Western came to play. They came, they saw, they conquered, and I feel bad for Bud, man. Of course, I forgot his last name, but the coach of East Mississippi. Ouch! I mean, he had nothing much to say. Just we got beat, and on to next year, basically. I mean, dude, all I gotta say right now is Iowa Western runs the show, man. This is their sanctioning body.
Yep, and this kind of makes me wonder what would have happened if Hutchinson made it to the national championship. But unfortunately, we will never get that question to be answered. So I will say this. I did not expect East Mississippi to upset Hutchinson, but Iowa Western, I think, would have still taken care of business just because Iowa Western is the reigning champs, and you never want to underestimate the heart of a champion. And I was just generally impressed on how they responded after that kickoff return touchdown. So you have to really like Iowa Western's chances. I feel they're that juggernaut. They're that Alabama from the old days, Georgia from the past few years that they are basically controlling the NJCAA. And you have to really like the chances of them possibly three-peating next year and possibly create a dynasty.
Darren, wouldn't that be something? I mean, dude, it's crazy to think that this team, three-peating, I don't know if it's ever been done in the NJCAA, number one. Number two thing, I mean, they won it all in 2013. Then they won it last year, and they stomped Hutchinson 33-0. Now they win this game, and you're right. What would have happened had they played Hutchinson? They lost Hutchinson, like I said, just a month ago, basically, before the season ended. This was a regular season matchup in the week 10 in Tarrant. I mean, that's it, man. I mean, you're right. What would have happened had they played? I don't know. But that is, oh, man, what a day. What a championship for these guys. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, closing the door on the NJCAA season. Congratulations to the Iowa Western Reavers. Just what a season. The Lions had no answer. And boy, did the Reavers just go to town, man. It was awesome. So, yeah, man. So just what a season for them. Once again, 61-14 in the national championship game. And that is the way the cookie crumbled in the NJCAA this season. So, Tarrant, last night, we had another championship game. Another one. And boy, oh boy, was this a good... Oh! This was the best Stag Bowl I have ever actually seen. I've been watching this game for like 5-6 years now. Tarrant, this Stag Bowl was a good one. Oh my gosh. Okay, so let me just go ahead and throw this out there real quick. Before anything, of course, Cecilia likes to pick against me in everything just to make things fun. She picked Cortland because I really thought that North Central was going to make it happen. And yes, she rubbed it in my face all night when we went Christmas shopping later on that night. But it's okay. I was just so... It's funny because at first I was like, oh, okay, it's a close game. Cool, okay. It's close at the half. Okay. Okay, we're tied in the third quarter going into the fourth. Okay, now it's getting serious. And I was telling her, like, and she was like, I told you, like, she was hilarious, but she was just telling me, like, you know, I've told her, like, it's funny because at first it's like, okay, it is what it is. It's a fluke. It's like or not really a fluke, but it's early game stuff. No, man. No. When you get to the fourth quarter and it's still a very, very, very close game, this is an actual war. These crazy things might happen, kind of like a gigantic upset in Tarrant. It did last night. How about this, man? Sonny Cortland. What? I didn't even know who this school was until the playoffs of this year, man. State University, New York, Cortland. Cortland, out of New York. Closer to Buffalo than New York City, okay? Right? Like, not too far from Syracuse. Tarrant, Cortland wins their first ever national championship in program history, defeating North Central 38-37. What an amazing way to win this game, too, on defense after NCC tried to go for the 2-point conversion. I mean, Tarrant, just what an amazing game. I know you were watching it like I was, too, on ESPNU. Brother, talk to us, man. How about that game last night?
Well, it looked like it was going to be a little bit of an offensive struggle as, well, it was 0-0, like, throughout a good portion of the first half, and it was so bad that the commentators even brought up Vikings Raiders. Except it wasn't as bad. He said, this is looking like Vikings Raiders, but it's not like Vikings Raiders. There's more yards to it, but I was wondering why both teams went for it on fourth down early on. I get it. You want to try to set the tone early, but you kind of got to take the points. And now it's starting to loom large for North Central if they had taken the field goal, heck, maybe they're going into overtime, or maybe they're actually up. But unfortunately, yeah, they would be up too. But now we'll never know. But it was 7-3 at halftime, and after halftime, Cortland just had an answer for North Central, and you have to just admire everything. I get the call, go for two, but and you basically play to win the game. But I just feel that Cortland was ready for it, and they just did not execute the quarterback keeper to perfection, and eventually it just backfired. And the onside kick was obviously recovered, and Cortland got the first down. And the interesting thing was Cortland didn't even run the ball all that well. In a game where Cortland wasn't running the ball all that great, they picked up a first down following that onside kick. And, you know, it's just very impressive that Cortland defeated North Central. Believe it or not, North Central actually had the longest win streak of all college football teams. That includes NCAA FCS, NCAA FBS, and NCAA Division II and whatnot. They had 29 wins going into this. Their coach had never lost a game until then. So you have to really admire the Cortland Red Dragons. And the coach after the game basically said that no one picked us. No one thought that we were going to do it, but we proved everybody wrong. And I admit, I thought that North Central was going to repeat as well, but Cortland really brought their A game. And whatever was said in that locker room at halftime, it really resonated through them in the second half.
It really did, man. And because what a way, right? What a way to end the season. I mean, it's crazy how you said it, too. Like, who would have thought that it would have turned into 38-37? The damn game, we didn't get any points at all, okay? Like, until, like, the late first half. Like you said, it's crazy, man. And I was in awe. I absolutely loved how each team just, at first it was the defense all day long. And then out of nowhere, they exploded. And the defense is, you're right, just no answer. And the offenses just kind of ran galore. I mean, there was something for everybody. It was like IE Sports Radio on the field last night. There was something for everybody here. Shameless plug, okay? But yes, Taryn, oh man, I loved it. It was amazing seeing that game. Adam Karnick joins us in the chat room right now. It's kind of funny because, well, Illinois lost. Okay, so North Central, man, it was just a tough game. Cardinals almost did, but didn't. It was a close one, but let's go ahead and read this a little bit here. Got about a paragraph and a half on NCAA.com. This is the Cortland Red Dragons are the Division III football champions for the first time in program history. A back-and-forth scoring match ended with one victor as Cortland defeated North Central out of Illinois 38-37 to win the title. In Friday's matchup, both teams were tied 31 apiece with 7:16 left on the clock in the fourth quarter. Cortland's Cole Burgess' second touchdown of the night came on a 21-yard pass from junior Zach Boyles with 1:41 left. North Central quarterback Luke Lennon's 60-yard pass to D'Angelo Hardy gave the Cardinals a possibility to win their fourth Stag Bowl in a row. Yeah, they won 3 in a row, guys. They three-peated already. They were trying to go for the 4-peat. All right, but a failed 2-point conversion fell incomplete to close out the game. Boys, this is crazy. Boys accounted for 472 of Cortland's 503 offensive yards, 349 through the air, and 154 on the ground. Cortland finished its first national championship winning season 14-1 overall. Taryn, how about it, man? Division III champions, the Cortland Red Dragons. Man, that was crazy. That was crazy. It was a very good game. I just, you know what? It feels really good to see some of these newer teams. Because North Central was that team a couple years ago where they just, they became the powerhouse. When they won just a couple of years ago, knocking off, I think it was Mount Union a few years ago in the championship. But they got it done, dude. They got it done. And now here we couple years later, now a new team has emerged. And Mount Union fell off early on in the tournament. Mary Hardin-Baylor didn't even make the freaking tournament. You know what I mean? So, Darren, are we witnessing the changing of the guards here? Or are you thinking, no, those other programs will be back soon? Do you think Cortland's going to move on and be this powerhouse now? Is North Central Cortland going to be like Mary Hardin-Baylor, Mount Union for a couple of years, about 5 years ago? I mean, Taryn, what do you think about D3 right now?
I think we could be seeing a lot of variety in Division III. And I'm just going to also say that Division III championship game had a lot of everything. We had unnecessary roughness. We had toe drag swag. We had teams' defenses coming up big on 2-point conversions. We had teams rolling the dice on 2-point conversions. We had teams basically putting the dagger in with crucial runs. We had big blown coverages. We had teams responding to one another. It went from defensive battle to offensive shootout in the tale of two halves. It was just a tale of two halves, if you ask me. And again, Cortland answered the bell, and the announcers basically said it best. North Central had no answer for Cortland.
They didn't, Darren. It was pretty crazy to see that, man. I'm excited, man. I'm so excited for D3 next year. I can't wait to see who makes the tournament, who plays in the regular season. I mean, oh man, because I've said Cortland, they're the new kid on the block who's the new champ. North Central, where are they going to be, next year? They're still going to be powerful. Is Mount Union going to reload and get it together? Is Mary Hardin-Baylor going to reload and get it together? Wisconsin Whitewater, they're still a threat. Wisconsin Lacrosse, they came out of nowhere. Oshkosh, where have they been? I mean, Darren, Division III is just so fun. Like, I love Division III football, man. Played it myself. I love it. It's fun. It's great. And you know what? I'm excited for this, man. So, okay. One more time, congratulations to the Cortland Red Dragons, national champions, man. Stag Bowl 50 winners there. And Adam Cornick says, a tale of two halves. That's the Charles Dickens football history, right? Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, a little bit of realism coming from Dickinson, right? But Taryn, switching over, we previewed, we went over three champions. Once again, Riverside of the 3C2A, Iowa Western of the NJCAA, and of course, last night, the Cortland Red Dragons of Division III. Well, Taryn, we got two to prepare for, man. We actually have two championships to prepare for. One of them's coming up in just 2 hours, which is pretty crazy. Division II. And the NAIA on Monday of all days. I thought for sure it would be today, earlier in the season, but I saw on their website when they said oh yeah, it's going to be on Monday the 18th, and I guess they want their own day. But yeah, Taryn, it's pretty crazy, man. They're going to be on their own day on Monday the 18th coming up. So we're going to preview two championships real quick before we go ahead and get on to the FCS craziness that's went on, of course, over the last couple of weeks, and then get into bowl season and get our picks for today as well. Ohio. Actually, Taryn, we should jump over there right now because that game's actually about to kick off, man. So let's take a look here. Iowa. Sorry, we have the Myrtle Beach Bowl getting ready to get underway in just moments in bowl season, to kick off bowl season. It's funny because Jen B's in the chat room saying, go Purple Raiders. Well, guess what? Another Ohio team is about to kick off right now versus Georgia Southern. Well, Taryn, this game is a weirdo. It's going to be fun to kick off bowl season with, for sure. Both these teams are just I don't know. They're kind of odd. Two teams that we don't really see a lot of, really at all. But at the same exact time, it's going to be a close one between them because, well, guess what? They're so freaking evenly matched, but the record doesn't show it. It's weird, Taryn. So Georgia Southern at 6-6 on the year. Okay, they are taking on Ohio at 9-3, and Georgia Southern is actually favored by 5.5 points. Taryn, this is pretty crazy, man. So as this game gets underway right now over on ESPN and ESPN Plus, kicking off bowl season, who are you taking, man?
So it's MAC Conference versus Sunbelt Funbelt. I'm going to take Ohio. I'm going to take Ohio for this one.
You're taking the MAC.
Yep.
You're taking the MAC. Well, you know what? I'm going to have fun with this one and go opposite. I'm going to take Georgia Southern from the Fun Belt, just kidding, and see what happens here. Georgia Southern's favored by 1.5. Let's see what happens. I don't know. It's bowl season, man. Let's see how it goes. We got more games to pick today. Of course, we're going to be picking. We have the Celebration Bowl, of course. That's an FCS battle right there. Going on, we have Jacksonville State and Louisiana, and the New Orleans Bowl coming up today. We have the Miami of Ohio taking on Appalachian State in the New Mexico Cure Bowl. We have New Mexico State taking on Fresno State in the New Mexico Bowl. Of course, as we've seen Mo earlier in the chat, UCLA and Boise State taking on Boise State in the LA Bowl coming up later on tonight. And, of course, Cal taking on Texas Tech in the Independence Bowls. They're all going to be great games. We're going to be talking about those momentarily. Adam says, NAIA wants to go head-to-head with Monday Night Football to show up Joe Buck. That would be hilarious. Let's go NAIA. Jen also says, go Bobcats. So, all right, Taryn, quick preview for Division II. Colorado School of Mines is back in the national championship game for a second year in a row. It says the Ore Diggers' opponent, Harding, is making its championship game debut. Both teams will clash for their first ever D2 national championship, which is pretty crazy, man. Yeah, School of Mines made it last year. They got blown out by Ferris State. Ferris State's not a problem this year. However, Harding out of Arkansas, School of Mines out of Colorado. Let's see. And that's what's going down, man. So really exciting here. Let's see. So says 1 week after struggling, this is on NCAA.com, 1 week after struggling to score at all, Harding exploded for a 35-point first half to put the game out of reach early. In fact, the game started similarly to the way Harding's quarterfinals game ended. The Bison flexbone offense methodically marched down the field, and quarterback Cole Kalen punched it in on 4th and goal from inches out, his 10th rushing touchdown in the past 6 games. Harding was then successful on a surprise onside on the ensuing kickoff and marched right back down the field for a quick 14-0 lead. So this is just covering, of course, last week when they beat Lenore Ryan, which is pretty great. And of course, School of Mines, man, you know, we've seen them last year. We've seen this team play. So School of Mines, man, they could be winning a championship today, their first one ever. Harding, they could also be winning their first championship ever. It's pretty crazy, man, to see these two teams go head-to-head. I'm excited. Who are you taking, man?
I'm going to take Colorado's School of Mines in a thriller. I think this one comes down to the last possession as well.
I'm with you. I think so as well, man. I think it's going to be a freaking, like you said before, a barn burner. This is going to be one fun game. No slight on Harding, but give me Colorado School of Mines, man. The Ore Diggers, they were there last year. They were humiliated. I mean, they got beat down pretty bad. I'm pretty sure I can remember that. So it was a great game. A great season for them last year. Ended with a bad game. This year, I think they could make it up. Harding, though, I'd like to see them back in this thing. But yeah, I'm going to go School of Mines as well today. And of course, in the chat, man, Jen B says someone in the MAC needs to do something. I'm sorry, that's funny. That's very funny to me. I'm sorry. But, oh, man, just a crazy, crazy season we've had in all games. But, Darren, the NAIA, man, this is it. This is it. Championship yet again. And this is the one, man. I'm really, really excited because we have a fun one. This is a fun game because two teams are going head to head for the second year in a row. I love it. I absolutely love it. This year, or last year, North Central. Remember, Kaiser was the team that burned through all the Iowa teams. And they had one more Iowa team left, Northwestern, and they couldn't get it done. Northwestern, I don't know what I said North Central, sorry. Northwestern out of Iowa defeated Kaiser last year in the national championship. Well, guess what? They're back at it, man. Kaiser, the Seahawks, have made it yet again out of Florida to take on those Northwestern Red Raiders. Because some Raiders have to be good. And the Red Raiders got it done, man. They got it done last year. They won it all. This year will the Seahawks claim redemption defeating Northwestern this year? Or will the Northwestern Red Raiders do it again? They won their first ever national championship last year. Will they go back to back? Not only, in their second ever championship they played in, but their second championship victory. I think that was also the same thing for Kaiser. They were never there either. This is their second, so this is both their second times being there. One of them had to win last year, right? It's going to go 1-1. Is this going to turn into RCC and College San Mateo with a mini-series, okay, where they play each other, in a couple of years or maybe even next year again? I don't know, Taryn, but this is going to be one hell of a matchup. I am so excited for it, man. Northwestern comes into this game on fire. It was just, man, I'll tell you, this was a championship game, or this was a crazy game. They knocked off last week College of Idaho 28-21, I believe, right, Darren? Is that what it was? I think, or something like that. And yes, and Northwestern, they just flat out just gave it to Georgetown out of Kentucky, 35-10. This is it, Taryn. They're playing on Monday afternoon. Looks like 12 p.m. Eastern time. So actually Monday morning for us over here on the West Coast at 9 a.m. Taryn, this is it, man. Who are you taking?
I'm gonna go with Northwestern. I think it'll be close, but I think Kaiser will just fall just a little short. I think Northwestern just has that dog mentality in them.
And I believe they do. They look like they do. But Taryn, as much as it hurt Kaiser last year, I'm sure, to lose that game, I think it's going to come running right back to them, man. I think they're going to win this thing. I'm going to go Kaiser by a thin margin in this game. I think we're going to see a mini-series, dude, in the NAIA. I want to see it. I want to see two teams kind of go head-to-head for like a couple of years. This looks fun. I'm going Kaiser. You're going Northwestern. And it's at Durham, North Carolina, in a neutral location. Once again, it's going to be a good one. Monday, December 18th, so this coming Monday. These two teams are going to go head-to-head, man. I'm ready to roll, man. I think North Central. I keep on thinking of Division III. Northwestern is just a very, 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 very good school. And you know what, man? Kaiser, just seeing this team play the way they have this year, it's awesome, man. I mean, it looks like a very, very, very good game. And I mean, we see so much going on, with all these different sanctioning bodies. I love it. I'm so excited because this is what you play for, right, Darren? This is what you play for, man.
Yep.
I get so excited because you see these teams go through so much in the regular season. And you get to this point, you're like, hell yeah. So quick article here from Dakota News Now, written by Zach Borg. It says here, the Northwestern Red Raiders are on the ground in Durham, North Carolina, in the quest for their second consecutive NAIA football championship. They arrived last night, ahead of Monday's title tilt with Kaiser, coming up, of course, on Monday. 11 a.m. Central Time. It says, and even got practice in. And then once again, it's going to be on ESPN+. It says, there's certainly a lot to take in on trips like this, yet the Red Raiders are no stranger to it. Now their third championship game in 4 years. All right, so yeah, that's going to be fun. So it says, this year's title game is a rematch of last year's, in which Northwestern defeated Kaiser 35-25. And today, quarterback Jalen Gramstad was named NAIA National Player of the Year. Cool. After throwing for nearly 3,400 yards and 33 touchdowns this past season, completing nearly 70% of his passes. The junior has also rushed for more than 700 yards and 8 scores and is 24-0 all time as a starter under center. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. So yeah, big ups to Zach Borg for writing that article there of Dakota News Now. And a couple comments here in the chat room. Jen B says Kent State and Akron were awful. From the MAC. And Adam Karnick says that Iowa team is a fraud, Northwestern. So go Kaiser.
Ooh, oh yeah, now I see why he's saying that.
Yeah, Adam Karnick isn't very pleased that there's another Northwestern out there except for the good old Chicago Northwestern. So, he says, was that?
In Evansville.
In Evansville, yes. So, Taryn, it's going to be a good one, man. Let's see what happens, and, let's get it. So, all right, brother. Well, on to the FCS. By the way, once again, the Myrtle Beach Bowl officially underway, by the way. Georgia Southern and Ohio. Once again, this game could go either way. It's over on ESPN Plus. I just clicked it on right now. They're about 5.5 minutes, 6 minutes into the game here, and I love the stadium. I love the turf looks super cool. Looks like it's like Dolphins colors. Like it's Coastal Carolina's turf. So anyway, let's go ahead and get on to the FCS for just a quick minute because, dude, the FCS has been nuts. I mean, man, Montana State getting beat barely by a North Dakota State team who looks like they were like out of it. I mean, I don't even know what to say anymore, man. This FCS bracket is nuts. So, Darren, last week, okay, South Dakota defeated Villanova 23-12. Then you had Albany, University of Albany, defeating Idaho 30-22. Okay. So South Dakota would then take on Albany last night. Then on the other side of the bracket, North Dakota State would defeat South Dakota. Of course, it was, the other way around this year. South Dakota defeated North Dakota State in the regular season. Well, North Dakota State turned it on somehow, some way, and they are, advanced. And then, of course, Montana. They defeated Furman 35-28 and moved on. Taryn, last night, South Dakota State just obliterated University of Albany 59-0. Just absolutely. This was also going on the same time as the Division III National Championship. So sorry, guys, we weren't so high on this. But, dude, this was an absolute beatdown. South Dakota State, the Jacks are going for their back-to-back titles here, man. North Dakota State is going to be taking on Montana in a couple of hours here at 1:30 p.m. Pacific Time, 4:30 p.m. Eastern. Oh, my gosh. If North Dakota somehow wins this game and go, because I don't think they can, man. Dude, Montana's the better team. North Dakota State hasn't been good this year at all. If North Dakota State freaking wins this game and then goes on to the championship, that's crazy enough. If they win the freaking championship, Darren, over their rivals, oh my gosh, the FCS is absolutely on its head. It's crazy. Darren, what the hell, man? South Dakota State ate Albany for dinner last night. What's going to happen? Who are you taking? Do you believe in the mojo of the South Dakota State Bison? Or do you think Montana's going to shut that down today and play South Dakota State in the championship? What do you think?
Well, for that South Dakota State Albany matchup, South Dakota State served a 50 burger and a donut to Albany. But as for North Dakota State and Montana, so you basically say that Montana is the better team between them and North Dakota State. But here is what you got to also realize. Playoffs, it doesn't really matter because it's a clean slate. And if you're playing your best football in the playoffs, then regular season doesn't matter. And all that matters is the matchup in front of you. And I think North Dakota State is riding a whole lot of momentum. So I'm going to take North Dakota State in this one.
It's it should be a good game. I don't know, brother. That's another one. I love the back and forth. I'm going Montana, man. I mean, dude, they're so good. I don't know if if North Dakota State wins this freaking game, this is scary. Because this team, they're like a freaking lizard's tail, man. You chop it off and something else grows back. I mean, another one grows back. I mean, this was insane seeing this team play like this. North Dakota State, I was sure they were done this year. And nah, man, no, they're here. This team has no quit in them. I really admire them for that. And, well, let's see what they do. Adam Karnick says here, I say go Montana for the simple reason that Montana, quote-unquote, never gets talked about in sports. The good old state of Montana. There is more people, I think, living in Southern California than the whole state of Montana.
Ooh.
It's not very many, but I'll tell you right now, this Montana team is damn good. I am so happy that Montana is still getting it, still looking good, and congratulations to the Grizzlies on a great season. Can Montana pull this thing off, or will North Dakota State go back to their winning ways? Darren, this is crazy, man. So let's get back to bowl season, brother. I'm loving bowl season. I'm loving the start of bowl season already because we're getting defense in this first quarter. Georgia Southern, we already picked them in Ohio, going at it, kicking off bowl season with the Myrtle Beach Bowl over on ESPN+. Taryn, we got some games to pick today, but we usually try to pick all through. Well, last time we had fun. We tried to do like a game or two here, a game or two there, and picking here, picking there. So, of course, we're going to have some fun. I think just going weekly. Let's try it this time, this way. But the first week of bowl season looks pretty good. It really does. I'm loving what we got here. We're going to pick all the way up until next Saturday, of course, the 23rd. So we're going to finish up with the Union Home Mortgage Gasparilla Bowl coming up. But, Taryn, we got a good amount of games to pick here in this first week of bowl season, man. Ohio just scored, by the way, their first points of the game, field goal. So go Bobcats. Taryn, that's your pick. So the Cricket Celebration Bowl. This is a very, very great game, an HBCU game here. Celebration Bowl, played between these FCS schools. Howard at 6-5, Florida A&M at 11-1. Florida A&M is favored by 7 points. They're playing in just about 40 minutes. Who are you taking to this game?
A very unique matchup, but I'm taking Florida A&M.
I don't want to. I'm not going to slight Howard. I think they're a good team. I think they got some good in there, but that record, man, it's hard to get around that record. I think Florida A&M is gonna add another victory today, and earn that thing, man, and get it done. So so next up here, and by the way, in the chat room, guys, pick along with us. We always have fun with these bowl games. So Jacksonville State at 8-4, taking on Louisiana at 6-6. Jacksonville State is favored by 3 points. And this is the R+L Carriers Bowl coming up at 11:15 a.m. Pacific, 2:15 p.m. Eastern. Who are you taking, Taryn?
I'm taking Jacksonville State.
Yeah, there just seems to be more going on there, I feel. They didn't have the best season, but 8-4, I'll tell you that. For a team who's come far, I'll tell you right now, their quarterback Webb, man, this guy Zion Webb, he's played pretty good, and just the sheer amount of games this team has won this year. The Raging Cajuns, they're a good football team, they are, but I'm gonna go Jacksonville State as well. So next up, the Avocados from Mexico Cure Bowl. Hey, we have here a very, very, very good game, I think. This should be a fun one. Miami of Ohio finishing at 11-2. When did that happen? I mean, wow. Who was watching that, right? Pretty cool to see this team play like that, though, right? They're taking on Appalachian State at 8-5. Appalachian State is actually favored by 6.5 points. This is why I think it's going to be a good game, because Miami of Ohio actually has a winning record by 3 games, but they're still disrespected. Did their schedule suck that bad, or is their conference lesser? I don't know. But what do you think, Taryn? Appalachian State favored by 6.5. Who are you taking?
Oh man, see, Miami of Ohio won the MAC championship, but App State is from the Fun Belt, and they lost their Sun Belt championship. So, it's really tough. I'm going to take App State.
App State's that's a toughie, man. You're right. MAC champions. I mean, I don't know what to say. I don't know how close this game is going to be or how unclose it's going to be, but I don't know, man. Give me Miami of Ohio. Don't disrespect this team. They have a better record. I want to see this team win. Okay, so let's see. Next up here, we have for today the Isleta, I believe, Isleta New Mexico Bowl. New Mexico State, of course, representing New Mexico, they're at 10-4. They are taking on Fresno State, of course. Fresno State has definitely seen better days. Last year they were Mountain West champions. Now they're playing in the New Mexico Bowl. Just kidding. But here we go, man. New Mexico is favored by 3.5 points. I don't know if that's just because they're from New Mexico. I'm just kidding. Now, of course, they have 2-game favorable schedule by 2 games over Fresno State. Taryn, we're in California. We know these guys pretty good. But how about those Aggies, man? Who are you taking? To me, this is a very hard game to pick.
I'm taking New Mexico State on this one.
I think, yeah, exactly. I mean, a good team. I think they can do it. They can get it done. Fresno State, man, what happened? I mean, they just lost a lot of players. I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, they kind of deteriorated down the stretch. They even lost their milk can game to San Diego State.
That's right. Yeah, and that's a game that Taryn was still shocked that San Diego State won. Yeah, man. So, okay. Coming up later on tonight, 4:30.
You're picking New Mexico State in that one? Sorry to cut you off.
What was that?
You're picking New Mexico State?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I don't know if I said it or not. My fault. Yeah, I'm going to take the Aggies in this one here.
Okay.
But coming up, man, this game, we had Mo in the chat room earlier talking about it. Taryn, tonight you're going to be live during this on the SoCal Spring Sports Show. Taryn, I don't know what to say about UCLA right now. They're the weirdest football team on this planet. They destroyed USC this year, which, of course, I mean, I don't know if that's much of a saying much because USC is horrible. UCLA looks like they're in the big games, and then they just look like crap other games. They are the weirdest team, I think, in college football this year. They're like North Dakota State, kind of like I don't know where they're still there, but they're like, I don't know. Well, no, they're not like North Dakota State because they're not in the running for the championship, but I don't know. And then you have Boise State this year. Pretty solid football team, man. 8-5. They got there. They had a pretty strong season. However, UCLA is favored by 5.5 points. Taryn, talk to us, man. And of course, this is more your forte here. Boise State, of course, winning the Mountain West Championship over UNLV this year. They look pretty good. UCLA was like the 5th runner-up, I think, in the Pac-12. I don't know. Taryn, what do you think, man? Who are you taking in this game and why?
So here's the thing for Boise State. They're starting their freshman quarterback. I think his name is C.J. Hiller, if I'm not mistaken. But I will say, this looks like a game UCLA could definitely win. But it feels like a game that they could also lose. But with Ethan Garbers back for UCLA, because he missed the last... Well, he played in the game against Cal, and then he got knocked out like a couple plays in. And they got to roll with him just because Dante Moore has entered the transfer portal. So, You know what? I'm taking UCLA just to be safe, but do not be surprised if they somehow fumble this one.
I'm going to go UCLA as well, but yeah, I think so as well. Don't not be surprised.
Please don't just disappoint us Bruins like last year.
Yeah, well, yeah, that I don't know, man. Gosh damn it. Let's see if they can get it done this year. I think they will. But and by the way, earlier forgetting to mention New Mexico State, they would lose to Liberty in the Conference USA Championship. Of course, we had who was Appalachia State. They lost to Troy in the Sun Belt Championship. So it's a couple notables there, guys. Sorry about those. I know Taryn had a couple of those there. So want to make sure we're covering all the championship, winners and losers there who are playing today. Well, I hate to say it, but the ones who lost. However, one more game on the day, Taryn. Neither of these guys played in any kind of championship. They just kind of ended up here. I think they are identical of each other. Actually, they are the Big 12. Of course, Cal from the Pac-12, Texas Tech from the Big 12. Taryn, they're like a duplicate of each other in each conference. It's hilarious. Like they really do resemble each other very, very well. But yeah, dude, Cal comes into this game in the Radiance Technologies Independence Bowl. Cal at 6-6 will take on Texas Tech, also at 6-6. Texas Tech is favored at 3.5 points. Who are you taking?
I'm going to take Texas Tech on this one. Expect a lot of running just because both teams have amazing backs.
I think so as well. I'm going to go Texas Tech, but by a slim margin. Cal's going to fight. It should be a good one, man. So that's all for today, actually. Those are all the games for today. It's a lot of freaking games. Moving on. Now we got the week. We got, basically just 4 games throughout the 5 days of the week, so 4 more games to go. So Monday, December 18th, this is going to be during the NAIA championship. We have Western Kentucky taking on Old Dominion, and Old Dominion here favored by 3.5 points. Is the famous Toastery Bowl. This should be actually a pretty good game, man. You take a look at Reed, Wilson, both these guys here have had, not the best seasons, but they've had okay years, I guess. And I don't know. It's crazy when you look at how I think how even these teams really are. No one's really, athlete either stands out super crazy in either team. I don't know. To me, it's another really fun, evenly matched bowl. I love this bowl selection here for these two playing each other. Who are you taking?
I'm going to take those Hilltoppers from Western Kentucky.
They look good, don't they? The Hilltoppers definitely look good, and I think for sure they could probably come away with this one. But man, Old Dominion, don't count these guys out. And by the way, I do want to mention really fast. So sorry, I did not mean to slight these guys. I was so excited to get into bowl season. Totally forgot to mention last week, man. Army, totally forgot that, man. But yes, Army defeats Navy 17-11 last week. Backtracking just a little bit here, Taryn. Were you surprised at all with this score now?
Not necessarily. I picked Army to win that one, but I knew it was kind of going to be a dogfight just because the winner goes bowling and the loser, unfortunately, has to make Christmas plans early.
Yeah, man. I know when you had said that too. I was like, oh crap, yeah, they are. Look at that. The records are pretty similar. But yeah, man, Daly. Look, this game was a weird one. It was an ugly game. I love it. It was just the kind of the nasty dogfight type of weird yardage, and no one really doing much, but still getting. No, sorry, not doing much, but getting yards in the craziest ways. Triple, double, crazy option. Maybe not. Maybe this. Maybe that. I don't know. It was pretty cool seeing this game. Loved it. And yes, Army defeats Navy 17-11. Just a fun game all the way around. I love watching this game every single year. And that's actually, was the 124th meeting between these two. Man, Army does it again. They have now won the last 2. And they lead 62-55-7 in the all-time. So, sorry about that, guys. A little move away from bowl season there. Sorry about not mentioning that one. Should have mentioned that one before we got into bowl season. However, okay, so, Taryn, moving back into bowl season, man. Okay, so we're both taking Western Kentucky. On to Tuesday, December 19th. UTSA, the Roadrunners, out of San Antonio, taking on Marshall, of course, the Thundering Herd at 6-6 in the Scooters Coffee Frisco Bowl. Looks like UTSA is favored by 12 points. Who are you taking?
I'm going to take UTSA on this one. I think they're the safe pick.
They look good. They look like they're going to win this thing. It's crazy. Ali, man, he's rushed. He has had 203 carries on 1,400. Oh, sorry. Well, my gosh, 1,043 yards and 14 touchdowns this year for the Thundering Herd running the ball. However, Cephas, this guy, man, 82 receptions, 1,049 yards, 9 touchdowns. I mean, yeah, this is gonna be pretty cool, man. I got a great running back on one side, got a great receiver on the other. I'm going UTSA, but man, it should be a good game. Okay, on to Tuesday, or I guess Thursday. No game on Wednesday. On to Thursday. We have here South Florida at 6-6, taking on Syracuse, also at 6-6 in the RoofClaim.com Boca Raton Bowl. Syracuse is favored by 3 points. This should be crazy, man. This guy Brown, I'll tell you, man, he's had a heck of a year, man. Byron Brown out of USF, man, he's 3,078 yards, 23 touchdowns. He has thrown 11 picks, but overall, he's had a pretty good year, man. Also, Allen out of Syracuse. LaQuint Allen, sophomore there, he's had a 1,062 yards, 9 touchdowns of the year. I mean, these two teams are pretty evenly matched. Who are you taking?
I am going to take... Well, South Florida, remember, it's going to be played at FAU Stadium, so South Florida doesn't have to travel too far. Well, Syracuse has to go from New York all the way to Florida. That being said, I'll take Syracuse.
Yeah, to me, I feel like that's a good pick right there. Syracuse seems the safer bet. Distances right there, good way to pick them there. And then, of course, our final pick 'em of this week, man. We have here Union Home Mortgage Gasparilla Bowl. Georgia Tech at 6-6 will be taking on UCF at 6-6. UCF, they are favored by 4.5 points here. And, you know, looking at these quarterbacks, Plumlee and King, they look pretty similar. Okay. Of course, Plumlee throwing 13 touchdowns and King throwing for 26. But, I mean, yardage, kind of similar. Picks, kind of similar. Completions, King has, but looks like a better, well, maybe not. But, yeah, I mean, when it comes down to it, these two teams look pretty similar. Harvey, though, man, 21 carries, 1,296 yards on the ground, 16 touchdowns for UCF. This should actually be a really good football game, man. Once again, UCF favored by 4.5 points. Who are you taking?
I'm going to take UCF mainly because it's being played at Raymond James Stadium, and that's in Tampa Bay, and UCF doesn't have to travel that far. They're only going from Orlando to Tampa Bay, where Georgia Tech has to go from Atlanta to Tampa. So I'll take UCF in a barn burner.
That should be a fun one. Definitely looking forward to this, man. All these games are going to be a lot of fun this year. And once again, we are enjoying ourselves, talking all these bowl games. Darren, man, it's just... it's always fun, man. I'm telling you, this show is a fun one. After the Texas championships are played today, and it's over, high school is officially done after today, all high school football, are we sticking to modern-day leapfrogging and still being the national champions this year?
Maybe, but it's kind of getting tougher just because of the most recent Max Preps rankings.
Yeah, did you see that? Give those to us real quick, Taryn. I saw it, but I don't have time to pull it up.
So in the most recent Max Preps rankings, it basically was still the same. This was from the 11th, December 11th, which was on Monday. But it's still the same as Bishop Gorman is still number 1, Chaminade Madonna number 2, Mater Dei number 3, IMG Academy number 4, North Shore number 5, DeSoto number 6, St. John Bosco number 7, Walton of Georgia, number 8, St. Joseph's Prep of Pennsylvania at number 9, and St. Thomas Aquinas, number 10. So that's basically the top 10 right there. And unless, of course, Max Preps is basically going to have a committee on who's the national champion or a selection committee, it's starting to look more and more like Bishop Gorman's going to be the national champion, unless they do factor in what we factored in last week or a couple weeks ago when I made note of the teams that Mater Dei played in the top 100 of the Max Preps rankings.
Well, Taryn, I posted a post like based off of what you said last week, and I kind of put it up here, and I put, let's see here, I ran a poll on our Twitter account. It says, or X account, who do you feel should be the 2023 Max Preps National Champions this season? This will be a very hard decision they will have to make. Okay, and all the best to each team. And congrats to all 3 teams on great seasons. But I pretty much did that. I everything you brought together for us. Bishop Gorman, they went 12-0 in the Class 5A Division I state champions. Okay, of Nevada. They played 4 teams who finished in the top 100. Okay, then Chaminade Madonna, they went 14-0. They finished 14-0. The FHSAA 1M state champs out of Florida, and they also played 4 teams who finished in the top 100. Mater Dei, number 3, they are 13-1. CIF Open State Champions of California. They played 11 teams who finished in the top 100 of this season, and their only loss was to a top 5 at the time, St. John Bosco, 28-0 in the regular season, who they later beat 35-7 in the playoff. Of course, that was the CIF Open, the Division I Open final. So everyone who voted, it's 100% Mater Dei. I mean, is it wrong to leapfrog? I mean, this is such a touchy one, man. I don't know. I mean, I get it. The latest rankings are there, but I guess we'll finish on this. But Darren, this is a tough one, man. I don't know. Max Preps. We just need a national championship game. That's what we need. But Darren, this
exactly.
What was that?
I said exactly. Yeah.
No, we do, man. I mean, Texas can cut their rounds by 1. Because of course they play all the way to today, and this could be the national championship day. Of high school. I mean, I don't know, man, but this is because I know they probably figure, well, all these championship games, they the state champions, they end different times. I don't know, but when it comes down to it, man, we're gonna find out soon enough. Lab member last year, a couple of years ago, you tagged me in it, and you're like, there you go. Mater Dei won it. Max Preps posted it and everything, or it was St. John Bosco. I forgot who did it. Who won it, but Aaron, this is it's been fun, man, and I don't know. I'm excited for who we're gonna get this year. Whoever wins it, they're deserving. So anyway, brother, time to cue that music because we're out of here, man. But that was a fun one as always. Anything you want to add? Anything at all from the college high school football world before we're out of here?
So remember when you talked about Ramona football state championship?
Yes.
Ramona is actually the 5th Inland Empire team to win an official CIF state football championship. And they're the first team from Riverside and the Inland Empire's first state football champion since 2016.
Who was 2016?
That I'm not sure. I want to say... I don't think it was Corona Centennial.
That's pretty cool.
This was courtesy of Eric Paul Johnson, so...
Hey, well, that's awesome. And thank you for the input, man. As always, appreciate you, brother, man. Where can all these diehards find you, man?
You can find me on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Taryn Rodriguez1. That's where I post my main content, and that's where I'm mainly active.
All day, man. Follow this man, Ice Sports Radio Hall of Famer. He's the man, the myth, the legend. We love him, man. Once again, great dude, as I always say. That's another mother. Great guy, man. Glad to have him here. As always, you can follow me if you're going at the CHEE_LB53. Follow the show as a whole at 3 and Out, all spelled out, CEIE. Got plenty of stuff going on there. Check us out, iSportsRadio.com, iSportsRadio.com/shop. Check us out all over social media, X, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Also, catch our sponsor, Planet Jerky, premium brisket beef jerky. The jerky, that's on a whole other planet. PlanetJerky.com. If you buy a bag from them, you will automatically get entered in our raffle. And mention that you bought jerky from hearing us, and in your DMs on Instagram, and you'll be entered in that raffle ending in a few weeks. So, with that said, you guys, for Terry Rodriguez, from me, your boy Larry B, that's our time. We will see y'all next week. Until then, take care. And as always, God bless.